Geico presents Our Town, Season 2, a 30-minute podcast produced by Best Bart Communications, a small but fierce client-centered marketing company powered by decades of experience and well-established business networks. Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Now, here's your host, Andy Ockershausen.
I'm so delighted to have a very special young guest, because we haven't had many, Tommy, but thank God for you. The Washington Post says our next guest is local Ryan Seacrest. That's quite a tribute when the paper says that. Janice says he is cute, sweet, very high energy, and by all accounts, the future of modern radio. I applaud that. Doing it the old-fashioned way, making listeners a member of his radio family one at a time, Tommy McFly is doing it right. Tommy, welcome to our town, and welcome back to your old home at WMAL Q107 Studios.
Absolutely. It's so great to be back here today.
Now you came back as a major star. When you left there, you were just starting to...
I was a nobody. They threw me out of here.
No, you were never a nobody. When you worked with Jack Diamond, you were so popular and still are. And the best part that I found out about you, Tommy, and I didn't know much because I'm being honest with you, I'm not a listener because I don't even know what fresh is anymore. I know what call letters are. Somebody said he's fresh. I don't know what fresh is. I don't know when that happened. 5 years ago?
About 6 years ago, yes. Fresh relaunched as sort of a contemporary pop station. We play songs from Katy Perry and Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. All your favorites, Andy.
They are favorite, but they're all over the country, right? There's a fresh in every market?
There's a couple fresh. So CBS
okay.
Radio has, right now there are 2 fresh left. There's a fresh in New York and a fresh in D.C.
Okay. And the rest of them, they changed the format again.
At one point, we had 3. There was a Chicago Fresh, absolutely.
And you have 3 people in your cast, too. That number 3 keeps popping up, right?
I do. I work with my 2 best friends, Kelly Collis and Jen Richer.
How lucky can you be?
Honest to goodness, having the opportunity 6 years ago to start a morning show in a major city like Washington, in a city that we all love.
Capital of the world.
Absolutely. I completely agree that this city is more important than New York and more important than Los Angeles. Absolutely. By far, and to be able to do it here for a great company that believed in us and let us, they put me, who was a yelling night jock, and my sarcastic, recently divorced neighbor who lived down the street, and my friend who came from news, and let us do a morning show in Washington. It was an unbelievable opportunity.
Wow.
That it's funny. Kelly, my co-host, says that sometimes it's better being lucky than good.
No question about that.
And we hit the lucky streak on that one for sure. And for 6 years...
And luck follows hard work, which to me is speed. So your hard work the luck comes from your hard work.
Well, thank you very much.
It's true. It's true in life. The harder you work, the luckier you'll get.
We always say that we are not the funniest or the best looking show, but we will outwork you every day of the week. And
Tommy, you do it in so many ways. Now let's talk about the original McFly. And when you were a child, you got involved in radio. And what is your hometown? Is it Scranton?
It's Scranton, Pennsylvania. Yep, I started very young.
You and Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, The Office, and me. I'm the third most important export because I can't beat those guys. But it's interesting. I, this month, start being on the air more of my life than I've been off the air.
Wow.
At 30.
A child prodigy.
I don't know about that. But I started very young. My mom worked for the district attorney. My dad was a state policeman, and my mom's intern in the DA's office was in law school, but he was also a part-time radio host. And so when
Your dad was?
my mom's intern. My dad was always a police officer. Although my dad always does give me ideas that he thinks would be great on the show.
Well, so he grabbed you and said, whatever happens, don't screw up, Tommy.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, my goodness. I got into so much trouble because I was broadcasting in my hometown of Scranton, and all of my dad's state trooper friends would listen. And so they would give him heck for things that I said on the radio.
But tell me, what a great start for you to be an actor, to be involved. You know, we had a guy that worked at WMAL, I remember very well. His name was Jackson Weaver, way before Tommy McFly. He was a child actor on radio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the radio, when they used to do drama, they had no TV when these guys started. But what a great start for you to be involved and then transfer that ability to radio.
Yeah.
The theater of the mind. People could imagine you before they could ever see you, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where I got my start. I started, public speaking very young, in second grade doing reading competitions. And then I did speech and debate tournaments in high school and actually in middle school as well. and I was, got to go to the national tournaments a few times.
Absolutely.
Which was wild. And that is such an incredible start for students and for young people who are outgoing. The kid in the class who the teacher always says, stop talking, they need to be in speech and debate, because you get to channel your argument, you get to channel your ability to stand in front of the crowd, where they actually encourage you to be in front of the crowd in a classroom making a ruckus.
Tommy, look, I've been told my whole life that you talk too much. I haven't heard that since my wife this morning. But it's me, and you're you, and as you're you, people must like it.
I think so.
So be you. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you kind of hear that too with modern stars today, like Lady Gaga and all of these artists. They say you should be yourself and be authentic. And authenticity is something that I think is so important nowadays in every realm, in business, in politics, in celebrity, no matter where you come from.
Tommy, somebody told me you can't fail if you're yourself. If people don't adopt you and don't accept you, too bad. That's their fault, not yours.
Absolutely.
We're talking to Tommy McFly here, a major talent that started in major parts of this company. Then we were all together at one time, right, in the studio. And we'll be right back on Our Town.
Okay, Kevin, for the grand prize of $1 million. What color is the White House?
I know this.
5 seconds.
Oh, switching to Geico could save you a bunch of money on car insurance?
Okay. Judges? That's true, Kevin. They'll allow it. Congratulations. You're a winner.
Woo! Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
You're listening to Our Town.
This is Andy Ockershouse. This is Our Town, and talking to Tommy McFly is such a treat because he knows where I am, and unfortunately, I'm too old to appreciate him on the air, but I do appreciate him as a talent. He's an enormously talented young man, and I hear so many great things about him. One of the things I hear about you all the time, Tommy, is wherever you go, McFly is around. That is a great tribute, I think.
Thank you very much. Absolutely.
You work at it.
I appreciate that. And it's interesting, when we started our radio show 6 years ago, Kelly, Jen, and I, we didn't have a marketing budget. We didn't have TV commercials. And so we grew our fresh family, as we call it. We don't have listeners. We have fresh family. And we did it hand-to-hand combat style. We met every single person. And that was what was so incredible. And we built it so authentically. And now, 6 years in, there's things that we do every year when we help to raise money and lay the wreaths at Arlington National Cemetery for wreaths across America, and then come out in January and pick them up. Or the work that we do with Best Buddies, or for ovarian cancer, or with military charities like Code of Support. So it's really neat to kind of have grown and mobilized that Tommy Show tribe, or that fresh family, because I feel like we built our audience.
You built it as a brick one at a time.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and that's why I think it's strong, because we have an actual connection with the people that we spend our mornings with. We don't stand on a mountain and broadcast to our listeners. That's not ever what we set out to do. And really, I think that's why people who find out about our show are interested in it, and they hang around, because I feel so strongly, Andy, that if you're given a microphone, if you're blessed enough to do the job that I get to do in a city that you love, if you don't give back, you don't deserve that microphone. And I think the universe finds a way of taking that microphone away if you're that kind of person.
They'll find out.
Absolutely.
The audience will figure you out.
Absolutely. And we're given, we get up early, boo-hoo. We love what we do. The hardest part of my day is getting in the shower. My alarm goes off at 3:45. If I can just get to the shower, it's going to be a great day.
Tom, well, you train your body too, so now you're waking up on time. Like all the years that I grew up and Jenny grew up in radio, we always had some duty in the morning. Now we've got a major duty in the morning. Is to get up, get dressed, and get out with a dog. If you don't take the dog out, you're in trouble. So
ruins your whole day.
We're on the street by 6 a.m. And we'd like to be on the street earlier, but that's the tough part. We get up and do it. We get up, get dressed, and get out. You're a living example of that, Tommy.
And you were saying that, too. That's sort of what, what is it, 70% of success is showing up? And
absolutely.
And Kelly and Jen the same way. We hustle every day because we don't take for granted the opportunity that we have.
Many years ago, Tommy, a very dear friend who's presently dead said the secret of life is get up, get dressed, and get out. But his thing was show up and return your phone calls, because most people don't.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's a success. And I've lived with that. I still return, even people I hate, I return their phone call.
That's why you keep calling me back, right?
Not you. Tommy, you're special.
I've gotten really bad at that recently. So I carry in my wallet, I carry everyone that I've met recently, their business card, who I still have to return an email to. And honest to goodness, I really shouldn't have this thick
What's
of a
that
stack.
M for? Metro Media?
I
recognize that M.
Microsoft, the Kennedy Center.
It's great.
The Hill, Monumental. That was that's actually I met Mr. Leonsis, Ted Leonsis, at an event around the inauguration, and I told him about the work we're doing with Best Buddies. He's on our international board of Best Buddies, and he wanted to help.
Oh yeah, he's a fabulous guy. He's got a tiger by the tail with these two teams, because both of them look like playoff teams.
Honest to goodness,
isn't that great for our town?
Absolutely.
That's what we keep referring to it. And maybe our baseball team is going to do something. I don't have much look forward to with the Redskins, because they look like they're in a little bit of disarray. But the baseball team should be coming along.
I think
good.
The Washington Nationals they're right there. I was at every home playoff game. And maybe I should stop going, because whenever I go to the home playoff games, we lose.
Stay away.
I should watch it at home. When Jason Worth hit that walk-off, I wasn't there. So maybe I should bow out. Maybe we're onto something.
And do it publicly. Say, I'm dedicating myself to the team to win, and I'm not going to the game. That'd be a great promotion for Fresh.
I like that.
I'm serious. It's a great promotion. But of all these things, do you have favorites? Do you have any charities that lead you to other things business-wise, or is this strictly you give and don't expect anything back?
You know, Andy,
but you always get it back, Tommy.
You really do, and if you set out doing charity to get back, you're doing it wrong. That's not why you should do it. But the reason and the story that I got involved with Best Buddies, which is my main charity, I'm the chairman of the board here in the region, is really wonderful. It happens sort of by accident. I get asked to do a lot of events, to MC them every year, and they had their second or first, I believe, Eunice Kennedy Shriver fun run and bike ride on the National Mall. And they asked me to do it, and I didn't know much about Best Buddies. And so I'll be honest with you, I'm 24 years old. I showed up late and hungover that day. And I was the last person to start off on the 5K up Pennsylvania Avenue, looking at the Capitol, just trying to get through the run. And this little boy named Matthew, who has Down syndrome, kicked a soccer ball to me. And I kicked it back, and I kept running, and then he came up again and kicked it back. And so we're playing soccer all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue. And I emceed the student dance afterwards, which was really cool. And in Best Buddies, our best buddies have intellectual disabilities, and our peer buddies are people who don't, and they form one-on-one friendships. And I left thinking, wow, that was really neat. And they brought me back the next year.
Tommy.
Thank you. And the next year they brought me back, and I really focused on the peer buddies, young people without intellectual disabilities who are the whole swath of high school. You've got student council kids and basketball and nerds and freaks and goths and geeks and cheerleaders and everybody, all who have stood up and said, I want to do this. And they were all so much more courageous than I was when I was in high school. And I wasn't a bad kid in high school, but I just never would have done a charity like that. And so from there, I thought if I could make it even just a little bit more cool on the radio, then I'm going to do that to get more peer buddies.
You bring more people with you, Tommy. That's so true. And you've got a great platform to educate people about what you do and what they do. And it's so great to hear you, because your enthusiasm is much more important than anything you do. Be enthusiastic.
Thank you.
It shows.
And I never thought that I'd be a disabilities advocate, but our executive director, Karen Glasser, saw that, and she hooked me in. She drugged me in as fast as she could. And so the next thing I know, I'm on the board, and now a young group of young professionals and my friends, really, we came together and started Best Buddies Prom 4 years ago. And wait till you hear where we are this year with it.
Dying to hear it. We're going to take a break now, and we'll come back with Tommy McFly to hear the rest of the story.
Are you still promising yourself or your spouse to get your will updated and a good basic estate plan in place? Are you finally ready to make sure you don't leave a mess behind for your family to clean up? Give me just 2 hours and I'll show you how. I'm attorney Mike Collins, host of radio's Legally Speaking show. Come to my seminar and I'll teach you what you need to know about wills, trusts, taxes, probate, how to keep your money in your family. Register now at MikeCollins.com, and I'll even waive the tuition. That's MikeCollins.com.
Hi, Tony Sybil here to tell everybody about our newest restaurant over off New York Avenue. It's called Ivy City Smokehouse, 1356 Oakey Street Northeast, right next to the Heck Company warehouse. It is terrific, and we have the only seafood smoker in the District of Columbia. So when you go to your grocery stores or your delis, ask for Ivy City products. 202-529-3300 or ivycitysmokehouse.com.
You're listening to Our Town with Andy Ockershausen. Brought to you by Best Bark Communications.
This is Andy Ockershausen. I'm talking to Tommy McFly about our town and what things goes on. And we brought up the subject, and Tommy jumped on it real quick. He saw the movie The Founder, which is about the guy that started McDonald's.
Absolutely.
Well, he didn't start McDonald's, but he made it into a big company, correct?
You would not know that he didn't start McDonald's. Absolutely. And that's why this movie's so neat, because it talks about the two brothers who have the one store, and Ray Kroc comes in and he wants to franchise it, and he makes the whole thing happen. But he bought the dirt, as you were saying.
Your enthusiasm
so
is so good, because the story was told to me about Wendy's, that the people that own Wendy's, the guy, he's presently dead, but he never had a real estate section. Mm-hmm. His plan was to find out where McDonald's is building and build as close as you can.
Yep.
True story.
They did all the research.
Absolutely. So why should I try to out-research McDonald's? Build me a building.
I'm just following your plan, Andy. That's what I'm building my career on.
Tommy, you're amazing. We just think so much. I want to finish the story about the prom.
Thank you very much.
Janice was prompting me, Tommy. I'm sorry. I get enthused and get away from it.
She's an incredible producer. We're talking about Best Buddies Prom, which started to help people with intellectual disabilities to have a school program of friendship, to have a jobs program in the real world. And we're trying to raise $250,000 this year to fund a citizens program where adults with disabilities can have one-on-one friendships with other adults. Because after you get through the high school and college kind of that time and the government programs end, then life gets really quiet. And so that's where Best Buddies steps in. And 4 years ago, a couple of friends, young professionals, and I wanted to have a prom where we raised some money. And the first year was in the upstairs of Pinstripes in Georgetown. The second year, we were at the Howard Theater and completely filled that. Last year, we were at the Carnegie Library and totally filled that. And this year, we're starting off a 3-year partnership. On April 28th, the prom will be at the Ronald Reagan Building.
Wow, and big time, but big hall.
Absolutely. And Trade Center Management Associates is helping to basically underwrite prom for us.
Well, what is your target for how much you think you can raise in a place like the Reagan Building?
I hope to raise $250,000, and we are well on our way. We're working on sponsorships and getting people to buy tickets and silent auction and the whole deal, which is wonderful. How we're bringing everyone together, and right now, Andy, we are at about.
But that was your budget, $250,000, wasn't it?
No, that's what we're trying to raise. If we raise that money, we can open a citizens program.
I got you.
Absolutely, for Best
That'll
Buddies.
put you on easy street.
That will, and it helps to fund the programs we already have going on. Because what's interesting in the capital region, Maryland Best Buddies does a great job, and that's because of Governor Hogan and Governor O'Malley and Governor Ehrlich, and on the state legislature, they fund the program really well. And in Virginia, they're really bad at it, like 40th in the country or worse.
That's awful.
And so,
how about the city? Has the city stepped tall for you?
So the city does what they can, and there's little grants, but it really comes to the community, to people like business owners and those people who really believe in our town and to stand up for people with disabilities. So it's been wild to talk about it and to get out there and to let people know how important this is.
Tommy, what you're doing is incredible. I'd see $250,000 as a tremendous amount of money, but it really isn't.
Right.
In this big city. This is a rich, rich city, and we hope that people are going to stand up and help you.
Well,
I can tell you this. Well, what is worth, Janice Ockershausen will help you. She's the biggest helper I know of when it comes to raising money. We lived for years about raising money. We did it on the air, and we did it with So Others May Eat, and we did it with Children's Hospital. Never asked for a dime, and people started sending us money.
Absolutely.
Because they knew we were involved with Children's Hospital.
And that's what's incredible about the Fresh family, our audience on the radio.
They already know you.
We bring these things up to them. We talk about Best Buddies all the time, and they come and they help with Reads Across America and the other organizations that we're able to help. And it's so wild that you just pose a problem and people get involved, whether it's something big like $250,000 or it's helping out Girl Scouts. I think you're going to love this story.
Oh, wow.
About the Girl Scouts.
More than cookies.
Well, yeah, cookies involved. So a couple years back, there were Girl Scouts who were selling cookies in Waldorf, and they were robbed. somebody stole the Girl Scouts cookie money.
Oh.
Talk about low of the low, right?
Oh, yeah.
And all the news stations in town, they talked about it and they gave them coverage, and everyone kind of thought, wow, isn't that terrible? How bad is that? And it was right at the deadline for sales, too. And we heard about that, and we got on the air, and we just said, oh, hell no. No one messes with our Girl Scouts. And Jen, one of my co-hosts, Jen Richer, who you know well from her days here, she is a retired Girl Scout. She was a Girl Scout growing up. So she went to the uniform store, bought a sash, and we sent her down the next morning, and she broadcast live from the place that they were robbed. And we told our audience what was going on, and we had a line around the block to the point that the TV station showed up, and also they had to control traffic, which is all when in radio when you do something and they have to control traffic.
Jackpot.
That's the win right there. Absolutely.
That's great, Tom. See, you get the periphery promotion without him asking for it. The fact you did it,
right.
The TV stations will show up. That's a good story.
And that Girl Scout troop from Waldorf raised enough money, and they sent the whole troop to Disney World.
Oh my God! In Waldorf.
Yes.
That's great.
Absolutely.
But you got nothing but success stories because you worked at it, Tommy. It didn't just happen.
Oh, there were plenty of failures. We're not talking about those.
No. If you never fail, you don't know what it is to win all the time.
Absolutely. 100%.
Well, the thing I win all the time is coming to work every day. And as I said to you before, get up, get out. We have to get out because we get our dog on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So we have something in common. That's our dog.
Yes. What kind of dog do you have?
It's a mutt.
Oh, perfect.
4 things. We had him, what do you call it called? We had him DNA testing.
German short
and he's a mutt. And he's beautiful. I think he's the ugliest dog I've ever seen, but Janice thinks he's great.
Pointer, Dachshund, short hair. Wow, all
German
those
short
things.
hair pointer, yeah. He had active family life somewhere. We know that.
That's how.
But people stop us and admire the dog, and I can't see it, but they do. But Tommy, you do that with your pets, right?
Absolutely. So Chris,
Big
my
part of your
fiance, and I,
family.
we have 2 dogs.
Let's talk about Chris.
Okay.
Chris is your partner.
Yes.
Chris is a wonderful guy, and he ran for Senate, correct?
Yes, in Maryland, absolutely.
In Maryland. And he's going to do it again because he takes one time to get known. I told him that when we talked.
Absolutely.
Chris, you got to keep going. He's got a great mind, a great intellect, and you can't say Maryland won't elect a guy. They will. Mm-hmm. From out of the, Hogan came from nowhere.
100%. I think he might be taking a break for a minute. Campaigns are tough work on everybody. Yeah. But I think you're right. I think if the right opportunity were to come along and the timing is right, we learned so much, and I learned so much about politics this time.
Oh, wasn't that a great experience?
And how much it involves money, and how much it involves timing, and how the stars have to align to have that overnight success, because there is no really overnight success in politics and in any business, really. But it was wild to be a part of it. But what was really cool is we went to every single nook and cranny of Maryland. And I have been here for 10 years, and I've spent a lot of time all over Montgomery County and all over Anne Arundel County and Prince George's County and Frederick County, but going to Cecil County and going to the Eastern Shore and going to Cumberland.
Up in the mountains.
Absolutely.
Different world, right?
Absolutely. And Maryland is so neat because it's such I think it's a little America. You've got urban centers, and you've got beaches, and you've got mountains, and you've got forests, and
got
you've
a good
got farming.
Ethnic mix, too. A lot of ethnic mix in Maryland.
And I had only spent time in Montgomery and Frederick and Loudoun, Anne Arundel County, and to be able to get around all of the state was really, really cool.
And that's given you a great base. It's given him a basis, too. Consider running again.
Yeah.
Now, he's got to consider it because he's getting known.
Mm-hmm.
Getting known. And Hogan's victory is not going to hurt him either.
No.
Hogan winning shows that people can win if they work hard.
Definitely.
Chris will find that out.
Was endorsed by the Baltimore Sun, which was so cool.
Unbelievable.
After a year of watching him, because I really couldn't do much, obviously because of my job, I was sort of in the behind the scenes, but watching him toil at this with his team, and his team has become family. Like his team who were there and stuck with him, we will be friends with the rest of our lives. But to watch them just blood,
sweat,
and
learning
tears.
Experience.
Totally. And then a week before the election, or 2 weeks, the Baltimore Sun, in the biggest paper in Maryland, endorses him. That was really the crown jewel, for sure.
One of the great newspapers of the world, incidentally.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope Chris hangs. I didn't mean to interrupt you with Chris, but I think that's a great story. Deserves to be told. Yeah. Tommy McFly. Maybe McFly for Congress next time. What do you think of that? Your name is very big, Tommy.
You know what? When D.C. becomes a state, I'll run for governor. How about that?
Well, I don't think we're going to live that long.
Well, there you go.
But Tommy, your career has been something, and I feel so good about it because you did spend some time at WMAL-Q107.
Of course.
But then what Fresh has really taken off because of you.
It has, and thank you very much. And it was something that no one really expected and no one really saw coming. And there were
Maybe that's why it was so successful.
Absolutely. We came out of nowhere.
You fooled people.
We knew.
These guys are going to make something.
Yep.
It was nothing before you.
Thank you very much. And we knew in the beginning, Kelly, Jen, myself, our boss Steve, Derek, our afternoon host, and Christy and Taylor and Dana and everyone who worked there, we knew.
Big team.
Absolutely.
Well, it takes a team, Tommy. Nobody does it alone. And your call letters are great. I don't know what Fresh is, but it sounds good to me.
WIAD, which is not the airport.
IAD is not a bad idea. Well, Tommy McFly, this has been so special. And whatever we can do in our little bit with our town, we'll do it for you. And we always want you to know, in spite of everything that happened, you're always welcome back to WMAL.
Well, thank you.
We won't be here, but you're always welcome back.
And it's been an honor to be on Our Town, Andy. You're such an important piece of the media, of the vibrancy and the culture of this city.
History.
Thank you. Yeah, but you're not historic yet.
That's right. I'm not.
I will be the one to raise the monument. Don't you worry.
Jenny O is the one that put us on the map, and I look forward every day. As I told you, Tommy, there was never one day in my life in broadcasting I didn't get up and say, "Here I am, world. I'm going for it."
What's your
and
secret?
You have that same attitude.
What's your secret to staying young?
Janice.
Okay.
I'm taking Tommy.
Yeah, she keeps me young. But my mother and father went into their late 90s, and my brother died 2 years ago, going to be 101.
Wow.
So the genes have, as a doctor told me, the best thing can happen to any young man is to be born with parents with good genes. They're better than any doctor in the world. That's happened to you. Your parents must have good genes.
I think so.
You look great, Tommy.
Thank you
so
very
much for our town. And congratulations to you, and we're here for you 24/7.
Right back at you.
Thank you, Tommy. Andy Ockershausen, this is Our Town.
You've been listening to Our Town, Season 2, presented by Geico, our hometown favorite, with your host, Andy Ockershausen. New Our Town episodes are released each Tuesday and Thursday. Drop us a line with your comments or suggestions. See us on Facebook or visit our website at OurTownDC.com. Our special thanks to Ken Hunter, our technical director, and WMAL Radio in Washington, D.C. for hosting our podcast. And thanks to Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance.